Georgia back on top, problems in Buffalo, and the in-season tournament continues. Join us on episode 44 of The Final Seconds.
Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished. When I bought the Aston Martin, y'all thought it was rented. Flexing on these, I'm like Popeye on the spinach. Double M, yeah, that's my team.
Back on The Final Seconds this week with Eli. Thanksgiving is coming up next week. But Eli, how's your week been this week?
It's been good. It's been short. It's been cold. It's been nice to have. I'm done with football, done with driver's ed. So it's been nice to just have nothing after school, finally.
Yeah, that's nice.
You got what? State playoffs coming up? Or semi-state?
We have semi-states this weekend, or this Friday. And then if we win, we go to state.
Well,
but
good luck. I hope you win, but I also hope you lose so you can watch the Ohio State game. I don't want you to lose, but
I think last week was our toughest test. I feel pretty good about this week.
Okay.
But,
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see next week. Hopping right into things. All right, so recap from last week. Number 3 Michigan defeats number 10 Penn State 24-15 without Jim Harbaugh. Thoughts on the game? I think it's a preview of Ohio State, Michigan, for the most part. Now, Kyle McCord is not good, but he is so much better than Drew Aller. Drew Aller is terrible.
Well, did you see Penn State fired their OC after the game?
Yeah. And that's well deserved. James Franklin, or whoever made the call to go for it on 4th down at the 30-yard line with like 4 minutes left, and it was still a 1-touchdown game. Oh my gosh, that was terrible.
He did that against us. Remember, they're at like the 35-yard line, and there was more than 4 minutes. It was like, I think there's like 10 minutes, 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Against us?
And yes, and he went for it, turned it over, and we went down and scored and made it a 2-score game.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous.
I get he's trying to like kickstart his offense and like he's getting tired of, 3 and outs and whatever, but
it's not how you kickstart your offense though, because it's too risky.
Play the field position game. I mean,
you got like 3 timeouts. If your defense has been stopping them all game, they had only scored 2 touchdowns up to that point, and a field goal. Why would you gift them points?
Doesn't make sense.
I don't get it. I also, what was the play? There was another play that was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Was there a point where when they went for 2 to make it a 9-point game after they scored a touchdown instead of just kicking an extra point, like keep it a 1-score game. So then if you score again, then go for 2. Don't go for 2. If you miss, then it's a 2-score game. Like, you just took all the hope out of your offense. Keep the hope alive.
Yeah.
I hate that. But Michigan came out on top. Their coach was so funny. After the game, you saw him crying in his post-game interview.
I didn't even see that.
Oh my gosh. Their head coach, who was suspended for the first 3 weeks of the season with Harbaugh for that off-season recruiting violation, was just sobbing after the game. Was like, I love you, Coach Harbaugh. I do it for these guys. Just breaking down. And it was so funny. Like,
Sounds like he thought he won the national championship.
He did. He seriously did. He was more emotional than any national championship coach I've ever seen. Like, I get you won and, like, Coach Harbaugh is suspended, but, like, it was to another level. It was funny. You'll have to watch that. I'll show you after.
No, it was a
Um,
good game.
it was a good game. It
And
was close until the very end.
yeah, the Wolverines got at Maryland this week, which will be tough, and then they have us. So they've had I mean, they got a tough November, and then
And we knew
obviously
that.
Jim Harbaugh's it's a disaster with him, and
Yeah.
they're a mess. And I mean, if they can win these next two games, I mean, I'll be impressed because for them, their players and coaches to stay focused on the task at hand to win these games,
Uh-huh.
would be
Yeah.
pretty
And
impressive.
they had the toughest ranked schedule coming into November, like the rest of the season. So we knew it was going to be hard. And that was a closer game than I thought. They kind of killed them with the run, kind of like they did against Ohio State. They just slowly just punched them, and then they'd break through.
Mm-hmm.
And Penn State's offense is terrible. Ohio State's offense clicked, and I think that's going to be the key. If Ohio State's offense can move the ball, I think we'll be able to hold Michigan enough. We've got a good defense. We're not talking about that though. 5 Washington defeats 18 Utah, 35-28. Washington, Pac-12 champs. I don't think so, honestly.
You think they lose to Oregon?
I think they lose to Oregon. Absolutely, yes.
I think they do too. I think
because Oregon has looked really good, and Washington has not after that game. Like Washington's looked all right, but
it'll be if they play again, it'll be just like the game they played earlier this season. It's going to be a shootout, and Bo Nix and Penix Jr. will both just be throwing touchdowns back and forth, and it'll be a shootout. Come to who has the ball last.
This postseason is going to be. These playoffs are going to be so crazy to see who gets in.
Yeah, I'm excited for 12 team. I'm already ready for it.
I am too, because Georgia is almost guaranteed to make it. Even if they lose, they'll still make it.
If they not necessarily, because if they went out, which they play at Rocky Top this week, which could be tough, but then I think they play a pretty easy game the following weekend. But they're going to be playing Bama in the SEC champ. I think Bama could beat them.
I do too. I really do think Bama has looked.
So then you could get there could be 2 SEC teams in the playoffs possibly if that happens.
Yeah,
if Bama
and that would take out 2 Big Ten teams. I think. As an Ohio State fan, if we lose, I'm cheering for Georgia. But here's the thing: we got Washington, Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, and Florida State all undefeated. One of those teams is going to have to lose because they play each other.
Yeah.
Washington has to win a tough Pac-12 championship, most likely against Oregon. Georgia has to win a tough SEC championship.
Mm-hmm.
The loser of Ohio State, Michigan isn't even going to make it to their conference championship.
Yeah.
And Florida State should win out.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be Florida State will be ACC champs, and then either Ohio State and the Wolverines will be Big Ten champs because those teams that those
are 2 guaranteed undefeated teams.
Yeah,
and then
what just happened?
I don't know what's happening. I think because I did peace.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! I found the thumbs up, the thumbs down, and the peace. All unintentionally, by the way.
Okay.
That is sweet. I love Riverside.
But the thing is because there's 4 teams that are going to make it, there's going to be 5 teams that are going to be champions in like the Power 5 conferences. So like who's not going to be in? Like out of the 5 Power 5. So like it's either Oregon or Washington in the Pac-12. And then Texas and Oklahoma will be in the Big 12 championship, most likely. And then you have Big 10 and ACC is already set, and then the SEC champ. Or, I mean, I guess, yeah.
If Texas wins the Big 12 championship, they could make it. I don't think Oklahoma will make it.
If Alabama wins, if they beat Georgia, but Washington
Georgia
beats
misses the
Oregon,
playoffs.
so you think Georgia get knocked out and Washington would be in, and then Alabama?
Here's if Washington beats Oregon, then yes, Washington will be in, Georgia will be out, Bama would be in.
Yeah.
I think though, Bama could beat Georgia, Oregon could beat Washington, and then who do you put in, Oregon or Georgia?
Mm,
And that's gonna be so tough if that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, they'd probably put in Georgia, I think.
I know.
I don't know who they're going to put in. I feel like the Big 12 is kind of weak. I don't know if Texas and Oklahoma, I feel like they're...
No, I don't think either of those teams will make it. Oklahoma won't for sure. I don't believe Oklahoma has a chance. I think Texas has more of a chance.
Texas has a chance. If Texas beats Oklahoma, well, they did beat Alabama though, so that's a huge win for them. Which, if Alabama won,
they
beat Georgia,
one lost team, but Texas beat
them,
Bama.
So they're gonna have the upper hand on Bama. Yeah.
So Texas makes it, Bama makes it, and Georgia's out, and then you have Florida State, and Florida State 2 probably, and winner of Ohio State, Michigan 1.
But then what do you do in the Pac-12? This is like, there's gonna be someone left out.
That's gonna be if all teams win out until their bowl games, like that don't play each other.
The committee is gonna have a tough task.
Oh my gosh, Ohio State needs to win, or there's no chance for them to make the playoffs.
And some fans are gonna be really mad if their team does not make it.
Oh, Michigan will not make it guaranteed if they lose. Neither will Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's tough. Okay. We got it. We're getting way off track. Okay, we gotta speed through college football. 24 North Carolina defeats Duke 47-45 in double overtime. Is Duke overrated? No.
I think a little bit.
They didn't have their starting quarterback.
I know they didn't, but they kind of got on like they were, everyone loved them at the beginning of the season, and they're a good team, and they're still a good team. I get they don't have their quarterback, and their quarterback's a big part of their team. He's like the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, and they went in North Carolina and played a really good game. I feel like they're a little overrated though lately. I feel like they've come up close against some teams. Even with Riley Leonard, like he played against Notre Dame and they lost. Yeah. Like I think they're a little bit. But I mean, I do like them. I just a little bit. I think they're a little overrated.
Okay, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but games of the week: 22 Utah versus 17 Arizona. Does Arizona get another big win? Yes.
Yeah, I think they do. It's at home. Utah just lost to Washington.
For those of you listening on Spotify, which I don't know if it's any of you, I just found out how to make balloons go on my screen. I think Arizona has been so close to upsetting good teams. They're finally getting the respect that they deserve. Mm-hmm. And I think technically it's not an upset, but I think they beat Utah.
They're favored by 1.
Yeah. So I think they cover.
Yeah.
I think they cover that.
Oh, cover. Oh. Okay.
I think they win by 10.
Yeah.
I think it's a close game, but
yeah. I think it's close too, yeah.
To Georgia, number 1 Georgia versus 18 Tennessee. Does a miracle go down in Rocky Top this weekend? Absolutely not. Tennessee is going to get smoked.
Did you see what happened against Missouri? They got killed in Missouri.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tennessee is going to get so killed.
It's possible, but I would like Georgia. I think Georgia will get it done.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think there's a shot that Tennessee and Joe Milton beat Georgia.
Joe Milton with the big upset.
Joe Milton is a Michigan quarterback, so that means he can't be good. 21 Kansas State versus 25 Kansas. Who wins in the state of Kansas? So for those of you who don't know, friend of the pod, Cole Ballard, is the third string quarterback for Kansas, freshman, and the first two quarterbacks have been hurt. He came in last game down 10-0, and they lost, but he played a solid game for his first experience, just kind of being thrown in there. It's pretty impressive. And it's unknown if he will start this week. But I'm a Kansas fan, baby. Go Kansas. Go Jayhawks.
Yeah, I think Kansas can win.
They
it's at home.
They definitely can win.
Yeah, it's Kansas State. I haven't watched them a ton this year, but they did play Texas pretty well a couple weeks ago. But I think Kansas can get the win.
I agree. I 100% agree. 5 Washington versus 11 Oregon State. Upset alert. Oh,
okay.
There it is. Yes, upset alert. Oh, I think Washington's going to go down, and I want that so badly. We were just talking about it. That would be if Washington loses against Oregon State and then loses in the Pac-12 championship. Would they miss the Pac-12 championship? Or Oregon would miss the Pac-12 championship, wouldn't they?
Oregon?
No.
They would make it. Washington and Oregon. It'd still be Oregon and Washington, but if Washington beat Oregon, then they'd be back in, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think Washington could possibly get upset. I think
if Washington gets upset and then loses to Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, then neither Pac-12 team makes it.
Yeah, that could be true.
I think if Washington loses this week and then loses to Oregon in the Pac-12 championship, neither team makes it.
Yeah.
The only way one team makes it is if Washington is undefeated. Then you can't have them out make it, and they would get crushed in the playoffs. They're not a playoff team.
I think they could. It depends who they play. I think they could. I think Penix could keep up with teams. I think he would.
He could keep up with them. Their defense is terrible.
Well, that's my point. But I think he's Georgia maybe because their defense is good, but if he
Ohio
plays,
State's defense is good too. You let up. So is Michigan's. You let USC almost beat you.
that's
they let up 45 points to USC.
And I get their defense is bad, but I think Penix will I think they'll find weaknesses, and I think Penix I think he'll step up in those big situations and make plays and stuff. I'm not saying they're gonna win, and I know their defense is gonna do much, but I think Penix could play like a Heisman player like he's been doing all year.
Good for you. Quick pick. Minnesota versus 2 Ohio State. Guess what I'm going with?
I'm going with Ohio State.
2 Ohio State. I'm going with Ohio State. 3 Michigan versus Maryland. Upset alert. I'm going with Maryland.
Okay, I'm going to take the Wolverines, but I think it's a close game. It's at Maryland, and Maryland isn't – you can't sleep on them.
I agree. Chattanooga. Why are we playing Chattanooga with 2 games left in the season?
That's just how Nick Saban makes
it out of conference. What?
Nick Saban does.
What's happening? Gosh. I thought by the first 4 weeks I was done with these kind of names.
Right before the Iron Bowl.
You keep bringing them back. 8 Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama wins.
10 Louisville versus Miami. Louisville,
but I think it could be close. I think Miami will play a pretty close game.
Upset alert. Rutgers versus number 12 Penn State.
I got Penn State.
I got Penn State in a close one. Oh my gosh. Another team schedule's not of conference.
They're back. It's like week 1.
I know what is. UL Monroe versus 13 Ole Miss. What does UL stand for?
I'm taking Ole Miss. I'll look it up right now.
Gosh. Upset Louisiana Monroe. Upper Louisiana. Upper Louisville. Under Louisville. Under Louisiana.
Oh, hold
University Louisville, Louisiana Monroe.
It stands for University of Louisiana Monroe Warhawks.
Oh, I was right. Oh my gosh, I'm him. Ole Miss.
Yeah, same. Ole Miss.
14 Oklahoma versus BYU.
Oklahoma, close game though.
Close. Yep. 24 Tulane versus Florida Atlantic. That's an in-conference game, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gosh, why is Tulane ranked? 22. I got
Tulane's good.
22.
Tulane's good.
I know. 22 Utah versus 17 Arizona. Arizona. Number 1 Georgia versus 18 Tennessee. Gosh.
Georgia.
Number 1 Georgia. Illinois versus number 16 Iowa.
I don't know how Iowa is ranked number 16. They were ranked 25 last week.
Who'd they beat?
No one good. They're gonna beat. I don't understand.
They beat. Let's see here. Nope. They beat Wisconsin 15-6.
Yep, they don't have an offense.
Wow, that's impressive. How did they jump that high? Oh no, they didn't. They beat Rutgers 22-0.
That's still low scoring.
That's very impressive. I'm gonna be honest. That's well deserved. Rutgers is a 2-loss team.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the schedule. Illinois. Illinois versus Iowa. We never said, or did we? I said Iowa.
I said Iowa.
Wake Forest versus 19 Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
20 North Carolina versus Clemson. Clemson.
I'm gonna take North Carolina, but yeah, it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah. 6 Oregon versus Arizona State.
Oregon.
Yeah, I'm Oregon too. 23 Oklahoma State versus Houston. Oklahoma State, even though they got crushed
by UCF last week.
Gosh, that was so depressing.
Yeah.
Coming from an Oklahoma State fan, that's depressing. This is out of conference. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. It has to be.
Yes, it is. It is.
North Alabama. What is? I bet their head coach is like Vic Nabin. For Florida State versus North Alabama.
Florida State.
Florida State. That's so stupid. 21 Kansas State versus 25 Kansas. 25 Kansas.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Yeah, what he said. 5 Washington versus 11 Oregon State.
I'll go with
Oregon State. Upset alert.
I'll go with Oregon State.
Nice. Florida versus 9 Miami.
I asked, are you going with Oregon State?
Yeah. Oregon
then
State.
I'll go with Washington.
Okay. Florida versus number 9 Missouri.
Missouri.
7 Texas versus Iowa State. Texas. Georgia State versus 15 LSU. LSU,
another non-conference game.
Woo woo. Recap from NFL. Sorry, moving on to the NFL. Recap from last week. Texans defeat Bengals 30-27. Can Houston make the playoffs? CJ Stroud's him. No comment. You can do the rest of the NFL.
Okay, well, you said that about Brock Purdy earlier this season, and then he had a downfall.
Brock
So CJ
Purdy's
Stroud
still
probably. Okay.
He's just not as him because CJ Stroud's him.
Okay. The Texans, I think they can win the division.
I think they can too. The division is so weak. The Titans stink. The Colts are mid. The Jaguars are mid.
Colts can make the playoffs.
Texans look like the best team, honestly.
Yeah, the Texans do look good. I mean, they beat
Minshew Mayhem is still alive though. It's still the hopes are still alive.
Still alive.
Hopefully, and I mean, I can come down and see you for a Minshew Mayhem versus him, CJ Stroud football game.
Yeah,
that would be sick.
What if it decides who goes to the playoffs that game?
We would be down there. We will be down there no matter what. I don't know who I'm cheering for in that instance. I'm gonna be honest. I'm cheering for the Colts, but I hope CJ Stroud goes off.
No, I think the Jaguars aren't terrible, but
I said they're mid. I didn't say they're terrible. I said they're mid.
The Texans have looked really good, and I mean the Colts. I think they're 2-2 in the division. They beat the Texans and the Titans earlier this season. And I know they lost to Jacksonville twice. So
yeah, got the games out of the way though. Browns defeat Ravens 33-31. Are the Ravens legit or the Browns? The Ravens are legit.
Deshaun played like old Deshaun though.
Yeah, but they had a little late comeback. Like it wasn't like they like dominated all game.
No, I know they came back, but he played well. He put up points.
He did.
The Browns looked good.
They did.
And their division is tough. Every team in that division's got a winning record. So
that division's so bad too. Like those teams should not be good.
You don't think? What are you talking about? You don't think?
Or are you gonna?
I don't know. Well, I don't understand how you think the division's bad. What do you mean it's bad?
Well, like the teams should not be like. It's a mid division.
I think it's a really good division. You got the Steelers, who their defense is studs.
The Steelers are terrible. They should not be good.
Well, they're got a better record than the
Kenny
Colts.
Pickett is not good. They're just lucky. The Ravens are good. Yes.
The Ravens are good.
Have been so mid this year. The Browns have been so mid this year. The Steelers are not good. They're pretenders.
I think the Steelers aren't terrible. I like the Steelers. Their defense are winning games. I get Kenny Pickett's not that good, and their offense is pretty bad. But if their defense can win games, you're doing pretty good. The Browns, I think, are a pretty good team, and the Bengals. I feel like the Browns and Bengals are really similar because they have ups and downs. And the Bengals had like a couple ups, and then they just hit another low this week after the Texans lost. And the Browns, they beat the 49ers. They then go beat the Ravens. I think the Browns, they're pretty good. They've got some big wins under their belt.
Yeah, I agree. I don't agree, but it's okay. Lions defeat Chargers. This is a great game. No defense. 41-38. Both teams need to work on their defense. Very true. They both had, awesome game, but terrible defense.
Hey, that's why Justin Herbert gets paid a lot of money to put up 38 points.
It's true. But when the other team's doing it, then it's not the same.
It was a shootout. It was a shootout. Literally, whoever got the ball last won the game, and the Lions got the ball last and won the game.
Yeah, that's true. It was.
I think
it was. Yeah. It was a good game though. Like it was fun to watch. No defense, but fun to watch.
Yeah. Yep.
All Okay, games of the week: Bengals versus Ravens. This game show who will win the AFC North. I think it gives us a good preview. I've got the the Ravens. Gosh, I can't speak.
Yeah, I think it does give us a good preview. But I think I think the Bengals would win it. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be low scoring though. And I think the Ravens will lose just by their own mistakes. I feel like they've done that in the past when they play the Bengals before.
Yeah.
Remember last year's playoff game? They should have won. They were about to score a touchdown and they fumbled at the goal line.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And so I feel like they shoot themselves in the foot, and I think the Bengals will win. But
yeah. It'll be. I think I like the Ravens, as you can tell, but I think it'll be a good game. I definitely do.
yeah. Oh, for
Jets
sure.
Bills. Oh, sorry. What?
Oh no, I just said yeah, for sure it's gonna be a good game.
Jets Bills. Does New York get a win here? I actually could see that. The Bills have not looked good recently. Josh Allen is either him or he's terrible. So I think. Oh, whoa! They turned off. I have them set to turn off like 10:30. So
the Bills last night against the Broncos, they lost on.
what?
They just they looked sloppy all around. Their offense couldn't get started. They're just slow on offense, and then they finally put a couple drives together to put them in a winning position. Their defense, their defense played really well. It kept them in the game.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, or the offense had 4 turnovers. Josh threw 2 picks, so the defense did their job. And then at the end of the game, that field goal, they should have won the game, but just mistakes with the coaching and it was just the Broncos deserved to win that game. They had more turnovers, they had more time in the possession, they had less penalties and mistakes. So I'm happy that the Bills lost, but I think the Jets can definitely get a win.
I need you to continue with the script because my phone just died and that's what I was using. So you just kind of say the.
Yeah. Eagles versus Chiefs, rematch of last year's Super Bowl. Who's the better team?
I think Eagles have looked better. I think, like we said in weeks previous, Mahomes does not look very good.
Yeah.
Not compared to his previous years. Like he still looks good. Like he's been throwing a bunch of pointless passes that have led to interceptions. And
yeah, and I think it could be a shootout though game kind of thing. I think it'll be high scoring. I think the Eagles defense is a little bit better than the Chiefs, but I think it's gonna be kind of high scoring. I feel like Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes can kind of go off a little bit.
And they can.
But
yeah.
Time for a quick pick.
Nice.
Bengals versus Ravens.
Ravens.
I'm gonna take the Bengals. Cowboys Panthers.
Cowboys by a lot.
Yeah, Cowboys. Bryce Young
Dak Prescott was the best fantasy pickup.
Yeah, he smoked it last week.
I picked him off the waiver wire. It's amazing.
Steelers versus Browns.
Browns.
Yeah, Browns. But I think it's either. I think it's low scoring.
Fire Canada.
Bears versus Lions.
Lions. Yeah, I like the Lions in this one.
Chargers versus Packers.
I've got the Chargers.
I got the Chargers.
Yeah.
Raiders, Dolphins. Dolphins. I don't know why they're starting Aiden O'Connell and benching Jimmy G.
What's happened? We don't even. Las Vegas is a mess.
Okay. Giants versus Commanders. Terrible game, by the way.
Commanders. Sam Howell. Terrible game.
Yeah, I'll take the Commanders, I guess. Titans versus Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Cardinals versus Texans.
Texans.
Yeah, Texans. Buccaneers versus 49ers. I think
49ers.
Niners. Yeah. I think they just came off a bye week and they lost, I think, 3 games in a row before that, so they need a win here, though. It's a big game for them.
For sure. Big time.
Jets versus Bills. I'm gonna take the Bills.
I'll take the Jets.
I think McDermott. I think he's pissed today and probably screams at the team a couple times, and they clean up their disaster.
Worth a couple, yeah, for sure.
Seahawks versus the Rams. Seattle.
Yeah, Seahawks.
I think Matthew Stafford's gonna play this week, though. I think he's gonna get cleared.
Still,
so
I got the Seahawks.
Yeah, same. Still, Vikings versus Broncos.
I'll go with the Vikings.
So Josh Dobbs is 2-0 in Minnesota, but Russ has been 3-0 the past 3 weeks.
No, Josh Dobbs and Dobbs we trust.
I'm taking Denver, and this is Sunday Night Football in Mile High.
Not as bad of a game as we thought.
Yeah.
I want to see Josh Dobbs.
And then Monday Night Football, Eagles versus Chiefs.
Eagles. That's a really good Monday Night Football game. But Eagles.
Yeah, a lot of good primetime games. Bengals, Ravens, Thursday night, and then Vikings, Broncos, Sunday, and then Monday night.
They really set us up this week.
Yeah. Final thing, NBA, the in-season tournament continues. Who you think wins, 76ers or Hawks?
How about you answer first?
Eli's knowledge on the NBA is only expanded.
Joel Embiid wins.
Yeah,
Trae Young has a receding hairline.
The 76ers, I think they win. But it's in Atlanta. I think, Young will have a pretty good game.
Pacers won tonight. Pacers.
The Pacers. The Pacers have looked good.
They have.
You guys don't know who the Pacemates are, just look them up.
Yeah.
It's Eli's favorite people in the NBA.
Went to one game, fell in love. Love at first sight.
Celtics versus Raptors. I think.
I'm gonna go with the Celtics because they have a super team.
Yeah, I think the Celtics win. Celtics haven't been playing dominant like they started last year. Neither. I mean, Jason Tatum. They've been playing good.
I've been paying attention to that.
The Raptors have kind of been a sneaky team. They're 500. But yeah, I think the Celtics will win. And then
I think so too.
Rockets, Clippers.
Clippers have a super team.
Rockets are 6-3. Clippers are 3-6 with their super team right now.
Yeah, but almost tipped over. Don't they have a really good team?
Yeah, they have. Well, they have on paper they have a good team, but they haven't been playing well. I'm gonna take the Rockets. They've had the best start since they made the playoffs last.
Well, I'm going with the Clippers.
There you go. That's it.
Okay, well, thanks for tuning in on episode 44 of the Final Seconds. See you guys next week. Yeah, I mean, next week is Ohio State, Michigan. So,
and Thanksgiving week.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
We'll be on we'll be on break next time we're on here.
Yeah. All right, see you guys.
Like that. Okay.
See ya.
Back it up, let me see you back it up. What? I beat it up, yeah, I like the way she. What? You walk around smelling money, that's us. I'm seeing she ain't come to play. Back it up.